have you ever wondered why it is that we're constantly at war? I mean, I thought the United Nations was set up to stop wars, and the Treaty of Versailles, everything that happened after World War One, I thought that was I thought the intention was, okay, let's have less war. But seemingly the case is that we're having more wars, and increasingly it's actually America that are instigating these wars by way of a tactic known as the Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. But I had the misfortune of watching the television the other day. Very briefly, only a glimpse. I don't bother entertaining myself with such brainwashing campaigns anymore. But of course, you see the usual pictures that have become so normalised. It's like war has become such a normalised thing. People getting blown up, like buildings getting shot down, and babies crying in the mother's arms, and just people pleading for some sort of respite. And of course, we are the ones that start these things, and this is what I'm talking about, the Hegelian dialectic, which we'll get into shortly. And then, of course, we offer the solution to the problem that we created in the beginning. But also what's happening, I feel, is not just totally holistically that. Sometimes we capitalise on these rather nefarious agendas. So, for example, in Iran, if there is perhaps some degree of dictatorship, or if there's any sort of hint of that going on, there's an opportunity to be had, isn't there? Because of course we are the Prince of Peace in the West. We're the ones that are going around restoring peace to the world, when actually it couldn't be any further from the truth. And this is actually the truth that people will never tell you, which is problem, reaction, solution. This is the Hegelian dialectic. Okay, this is how it works. Okay. Oh, they've got weapons of mass destruction over there. What do you want us to do about it? What should we do? We can't just let it stand. And of course, they put it to the people. The people say, yeah, nuke them, go and get them. And of course, what happens is a war is started based on the rationale that they do have weapons of mass destruction. Then that creates an opportunity for us to actually resolve that and therefore set up a puppet regime in that country. All in the name of the United Nations and all in the name of coming together to create a better world, right? And this is the agenda that's coming from ultimately Zionism and psychopathy that's right at the seed of the West. That is covert, it's not overt. They're not going to show you how they're doing this anymore. It's happening behind the scenes. It's a very difficult pill for people to swallow. And, even though it's becoming more and more obvious to so many people, it's also increasingly becoming more and more difficult for people to realise. As George Orwell said, the further we drift from the truth, the harder it is for people to actually accept it or hear it, or speak it even, And so what are we going to do about this? Well, we have to realise that we have to raise awareness, and we have to raise awareness to an alternative social model, but also expose to some extent what's happening without getting too caught up in it. And that's really what I'm trying to do at New.Land. So if you'd like to participate in a social model that creates more opportunity, more transparency, ultimately civilizational crowdsourcing to replace this compulsory taxation model that's currently existing, where our money is being squandered. We're actually having to, unfortunately, fund a lot of these black ops projects and a lot of this war that's happening. Like, where is all of this money going? It's certainly not going on cleaning up our streets and helping to deal with some of the bigger issues at hand in society. So if we actually have more transparency, and I say it begins with us reclaiming our land, acquiring land, crowdsourcing our land, and building our own housing systems that afford us much more freedom, abundance, and well-being in the world. Because why? Abundance versus scarcity is the only real war that is taking place here. We don't need to get too political and get caught up in their games, which is witchcraft. It's like the left wing versus the right wing. It's just two wings of the same bird. Two cheeks of the same arse. It's the same system that keeps duping people into acquiescence. Every 4 years something else comes along, new election. Oh, I'm going to believe in this, believe in that. And nothing never happens. Like, this is what we've got to realise. Like, the same thing keeps happening. War. People not getting what they want. Scarcity, prices being increased. Just more and more insanity is going to occur until we actually step in and do something about it. Why? Because we are the people, we are the power, we are the 99%. So clearly we're the ones that we've been waiting for, and we can participate in being a part of the change at New.Land. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.